let's read these books because I'm excited about this. So I'm just gonna like bop the background music down a little bit and let's get these books out and see what they have to say, because these are meant to be like really interesting lore pieces. I guess they're kind of like individual, so there's no set order. Thanks, by the way, everyone. We've got 5 minutes to read these books, and then the primal storms will reset, and I'm hoping for a water and an earth, so we'll do those in a sec. Okay. Observational report, Earthen. Fellow Watchers, when you were assigned to observe the state of our Titan-forged subjects, who regretfully fell under the influence of flesh, the Keepers could not have anticipated the effort necessary to follow them as they spread throughout the world. I shall do my best to ensure your perseverance is recognised, but for now, you are to continue your duties until a new directive is authorised. It is apparent from your reports that the degree of transformation in Titan-forged subjects is significantly diverse. There is no group in which this variant is more easily observable than the Earthen. While some have succumbed entirely to the malady, such as the Earthen who emerged from Uldaman and called themselves Dwarves, others remain resistant, whether in full or in part. One particularly notable variant can be found in the Earthen contingent dispatched to investigate the fissure detected in sector AR938. For further details, search records related to geological anomalies. In the course of their duties, these Earthen began to manifest behaviours analogous to those which would one day be apparent in the self-styled Dwarves, despite the two groups being separated by vast swathes of time and distance. In fact, based on their origin dates, I could identify no corollary at all between these populations. Yet while their behaviours, language and demeanour show many similarities, for example assigning sector AR938 the colloquial name Khaz'Algar, physiologically the two groups remain distinct. Is this distinctiveness due to exposure to the unique qualities of the anomaly, or is there another reason? We require more data before a conclusion can be reached. As ever, your aid in this analysis remains invaluable. Remember, we are the eyes of the Titans. Respectfully, Watcher Malenia. So that's really interesting. So this is like a Stony Tony pal, a Watcher. And they are talking about I guess a completely different group of dwarves that we've never met before. In a place called Khaz'Algar. Near a geological anomaly. So related to potentially the primalists, the elements, we're not really sure. And they look physiologically a little bit different to dwarves, but basically so that we can not have to re-voice act an entire dwarf species, they are, vocally similar. So that's kind of interesting, I think. So we might be up to going to a geological place, a geological anomaly in a place called Khaz'Algar, and meeting dwarves. That could be cool. Scottish, absolutely, Nick. That's exactly what I think they're getting at. I think they are basically also Scottish in the lore. That is what we're doing there. Giving up on Demon Hunter, not enjoying it. Warlock attempt, interesting, Nutty. Okay, see if you enjoy that. Trisk, so dwarves and dark iron dwarves, maybe. Well, I think it's similar. So Khaz'Algar is a place we've not been before, right? And this is by a geological anomaly. So I think this is again another group of dwarves, or is Khaz'Algar where the dark irons come from? Because it could be, you could be right. They could be arguably talking about the dark irons, but I'm not sure that is the case. You're gonna get some shut-eye. Good night, Ulgar. Thanks for helping out. I think the Titans and Watchers call old god-related stuff anomalies. Interesting. That's a good point though. Algar is a yet unknown place. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily mean not Dark Irons, but it definitely is a place we don't know about. And you would think the Dark Iron Dwarves might have told us about it in their lore. You just need one more class leveled up to max, and I did the 5. So you wanted to do 5, you're just not sure which one to do. I see what you mean. Okay, this one is called My Staunchest Allies. My noble friends, forgive me for keeping secrets, but I instructed Sentinel Talondris to withhold this message until you had safely reached your destination. If you are reading this, then our worst fears have been realised. I have fallen to our foes, murdered on the orders of the treacherous Loken. But fear not, for I have prepared for this dark eventuality, along with the discs of Norgannon that you carry. Oh, discs of Norgannon, we fished those out of this place many, many years ago. I have hidden another disc that holds a record of my own memories. Telondrus will ensure it is safeguarded within the depths of Uldaman until such a time as it can be safely retrieved. I have fashioned the Refti to be unquestioningly loyal to me. Before departing Valdrakken, I left a gift in the care of the dragon aspects. Though they are unaware of its true purpose, the artifact can be used within the halls of Uldorus to outwit Loken's malignant schemes. When it is safe to do so, bring my memory disk back to Uldorus and retrieve the item I gave to the aspects. You will know what to do next. So Uldorus is a raid or a dungeon we're going to. So this is a bit of raid or dungeon story. Dearest Ionara and most noble Arcadus, I place my trust in you. When we stand together, nothing can overcome our unity. Yours always, Tia. Cute. A letter from the past. I love it. So this is very cool. But the Dark Iron split off from the main group, right? They did, but we've also met them and got some of their lore. So I don't know if Khaz'Algar would be different. I think it's highly possible we're talking about a different group, because the Dark Irons aren't necessarily associated with an anomaly of any kind. I wonder if this is more pointing at patch content, but I could be completely wrong. That would just be my kind of theory. But I don't think they're hinting at the Dark Irons. Could be, but it doesn't feel to me like they are. But I like that letter from Tyr, and that's really cool. And obviously, Ionara and Arcadus we've kind of met and destroyed. So pretty awesome. Look, we're going to get Primal Storms reset in a minute. Okay, Edicts of the Prime Designate, Volume 7. Keepers. It has been brought to my attention that as of late, many of you have become fascinated by the emergence of mortal beings. That is, creatures born of flesh, rather than crafted of stone and steel like our loyal Titanforge. While my initial impulse was to eradicate these aberrations before they evolved further, I now believe they may prove useful if properly controlled. Yet, even as we guide their development according to the edicts of the Titans, we must always remember that mortal minds are destined to be small and incapable of complex understanding. Therefore, as your prime designate, I must establish a few minor but necessary regulations to govern your interactions with these nascent beings. First, all historical records documenting the advancements of the Black Empire are to be purged. Paint that age as one of chaos and misery, a pernicious blight that we, keepers, eradicated. With the old gods locked in confinement, there should be no evidence available to contradict our assertions. So this is really interesting, hinting at the fact that our view of and understanding of the old gods and what the Black Empire kind of like was, might be heavily coloured by the Titans' kind of version of propaganda. So I think this is really interesting. Let me continue. Surely if you care for these mortals, you would not wish to see them led astray into darkness. So this is the Titan's opinion of what darkness is. Second, attribute all accomplishments and works of wonder to the Titans alone. Despite the relentless arguments made by some of you, this is not a fallacy. After all, can anything truly be said to exist until it has been ordered? Of course not. Therefore, it is irrefutable that the Titans are the source of all creation. Third, do not share knowledge of the first ones. Mortals could not conceive of the wonders that the Makers granted to the Titans in Zereth Ordis. Thus, learning of the progenitors would only confuse them. It is enough that mortals know the Titans brought order to the cosmos and that they are owed deference. So again, this is really interesting that the Titans effectively kind of writing our history. So writing well, we know that the Chronicle books were from the point of view of the Titans, so we know that the lore we have is very much Titan dictate. Not necessarily that it's wildly off of what happened, just that it is very much through the lens of the Titans. So this is very, very cool. I really love this one. While some among you would prefer to argue these points further, such debate can no longer be tolerated. I remind you that I speak with the authority of the Titans, and any further dissent may cause me to question whether you have succumbed to outside influences. Remember, life is chaos. It must be controlled. Your leader, Prime Designate, Odin. So that's interesting. So Odin is now kind of like, or was like the Prime Designate. Not really sure what that means, but seemed to very much be in control of telling people what they should be thinking. So I love that. Badlands, Northern Barrens are water. Ungoro is fire again. So we've got 2 hours 54. So we won't get Earth today, but we'll go and pop over and do Badlands again, I think, to get water in a moment. Not sure if I said, but I'm considering actually doing dungeons in Dragonflight, so being dragged into one is welcome. Yes, Nutty! Always come do dungeons with us. And if you want to do Keystone Master, it's not as hard as people make out. It feels very kind of like, but it's actually not a bad thing to do. And we're always very, very happy to help, particularly new players, settle in and find their feet and do some keys. So feel free to join us anytime. I will often probably do keys on stream as well during the new expansion whilst I'm doing Keystone Master. So always happy to get a group together. Okay, so that was Prime Designate thingy. So we've got 2 more, and then we'll go and smash out some Badlands stuff. Dun, 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 dun. Wreckage analysis. Prime Designate. I am writing to confirm that the wreckage discovered on our shores was indeed the remains of our most recent expedition to Avaloran. There were no survivors. This marks the 3rd failed attempt to reach the accursed place in the time since I assumed my post. While I would not presume to question either your authority or your determination, I pray to the Titans that the rumours I hear of a 4th expedition are mere speculation rather than fact. Surely you can see that further pursuit of the heretics is folly. Yes, they must be made to answer for their crimes against Inaria and the other keepers, but their defences are not to be underestimated. The resources required to breach their lines are simply beyond our current capabilities, at least not without jeopardizing containment of the prisoners in our charge. Though I agree there is risk in allowing their strength to grow, evidence suggests that the aggressive nature of the heretics will cause them to turn on one another and weaken their resolve. If we can be patient, an opportunity for retribution will present itself. I beseech you, Prime Designate, let the fire of your wrath cool, at least for now. Its embers will be rekindled in due time. If not, I fear I will soon be authoring yet another report of a lost expedition, its final remnants dashed upon rock and wave. With all respect, Watcher Perithales. So this is really interesting. So this tells us about a place called Avaloran. Not heard of that before. And some heretics. So people that obviously don't believe in the Titans' edict or disagree with the Titans, dashing off to go there. And of course, they're trying to get into this place that seems to be super well defended by the heretics. Also reference to their being able to look after their own prisoners. So we don't know what they might be referring to, possibly old gods, but very interesting. And then the last one, it says, progress report on Uldoris. Brother Loken, as you requested, I offer the following report on the progress toward our objectives. I am pleased to say that the halls of infusion are now operational, though the work of imbuing order magic into the wellspring is only beginning. I remain optimistic that the process will prove effective. Already, we are detecting reduced levels of contamination. I hope your investigation into how Yogg-Saron compromised these living waters will yield answers. In the meantime, we can be assured that the evolution of another Galacrond will not be triggered by consuming unfiltered water. Once purification is complete, an additional benefit will be found in offering the infused water to dragonkind. By ingesting the water, or causing their eggs to absorb its effects, it should be possible to keep even the most willful dragons aligned with the Titans' philosophies. Our efforts to bring the proto-dragons in line have faced resistance, but I am formulating a strategy to speed the process along. Construction of the facility atop the halls of infusion is proceeding apace. Though that's Tierhold, I believe. Though the station is to be designated Uldaman, I must reluctantly report that the dragons have taken to calling the structure by the name Tierhold. I will do my best to ensure our Titan-forged workforce does not also adopt this embarrassing pseudonym, but as of late they seem to be expressing more and more opinions of their own. In closing, let me underscore once again how fervently I disagree with the assertions of Prime Designate Odin concerning the unsuitability of the dragon aspects. I have every confidence that they will prove fervent allies in our shared goals of keeping the world structured and disciplined. Ever your friend, Keeper Tier. So that is also interesting. Now, what that tells us, I will start to make my way to the Badlands. But what that tells us is that the waters of the Dragon Isles were, as we know, Galakrond was kind of like converted by the old gods, particularly Yogg-Saron, into Galakrond, or his transformation into Galakrond was started by drinking that tainted water. Uldaman is below Tierhold, which is in the Dragon Isles, and Tierhold/Uldaman is the source of all of the water on the Dragon Isles, including where the dragons grow their eggs in the Ruby life pools. So there's a suggestion there that the dragons are very much under the influence of those waters, and those waters are designed in such a way as to influence the dragons to kind of basically buy into the Titans' kind of view of the world and what they want to happen. So that, I wonder how much of that we will discover through the story of the Dragon Isles, and the story kind of leading into kind of some of the patches.